Let's talk more now about radicalism in the West with Mia Bloom. Mia Bloom is the author of Bombshell and professor of security studies at University of Massachusetts Lowell. Mubin Sheikh is a former jihadist and the co-author of Undercover Jihadi. And David Gartenstein-Ross is a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. All right, so let's talk about this, David. This radical Islamist preacher, his name is Anhem Chowdhury, was among those arrested in London. For years, he has been under the scrutiny of British security services. Why did it take so long to arrest him?
It's unclear. There's a couple of theories that one could look at, though. One of them is that the British wanted to very carefully build a case to make sure that when they prosecuted him, that they would successfully convict him. A second theory is a kind of flypaper theory, that people who were being radicalized and people who had succumbed to a radical form and perhaps posed a threat would congregate around him. He was a known quantity, obviously very visible. As you said, he was on CNN. And so they could really monitor his connections and thus monitor some of the extremist networks in the UK.
It's reminiscent of families who are trying to get their children in the U.S. out of cults. Is there anything that family members can say that is convincing to their relatives who have been radicalized to get through to them? David?
That's a great question. It's extraordinarily hard when somebody is actually in a situation like that, when someone's actually in a place like Raqqa or in the Taliban's Afghanistan. Usually the family's at a great disadvantage. There is actually one very famous cell phone video that was taken, though. It was of a young man of Tunisian origin who had gone to fight in Syria. And as he was flying through Turkey, his family had actually tracked him down in the airport. And his family surrounded him, his sister and his mother. They were crying. They hugged him and actually dissuaded him from going over to fight as a foreign fighter. That's one example in which there was a family intervention, but it was in person and really personalized, humanized the situation. I think that for that phone call in Raqqa, it's much harder for the family to in any way get through to the individual.
But probably most families, quite frankly, don't have the resources or even the know-how to go to a foreign country to intercept their loved one. That takes a lot of effort, and I think most people would be afraid to do that. Am I wrong, Mia?
No, I think you're right, but we actually have looked at CVE efforts, so countering violent extremism, and